Well, welcome back to All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris, and when we went to break, I was speaking with Janani Ramachandran, who is a candidate for District 4. Remember that, District 4 Oakland City Council. Her name will be on the ballot in November. We were talking about a lot of things, but I want to change the subject just a little bit to something that's coming up soon before the Oakland City Council. I know you're not a member yet, but it's called Project Labor Agreements. Do you know what they are? Of course you do. You're a lawyer. So let's talk about that for a minute. What do you think about Project Labor Agreements?
I think the concept makes sense of collective bargaining agreements to benefit workers. But like many things, there are concepts that are pro-worker in concept and not in reality. So to me, I want to acknowledge the racist history of Project Labor Agreements and who all
So
are.
you admit it.
Yeah.
You recognize it. I've been involved with it for almost 20 years. When Port of Oakland first did its Project Labor Agreement, I was on the port at that time, right here in Oakland. Yeah, that's where the Project Labor Agreement started. Okay, now tell us about how they may be sometimes against the interests of blacks and other minorities.
Absolutely. So, I am absolutely a fan of labor unions. My grandparents were lifelong secretaries with union benefits that helped my family, who immigrated from villages in southern India, get a better life. Stable health care, living wages, a small slice of the American dream. They were lucky. Unfortunately, there are many, many workers, immigrants and otherwise, who don't get that slice of economic opportunity. In Oakland specifically, 80 to 90% of black and brown small construction contractors don't benefit from project labor agreements. And I want the system to work. We need to sit down at the table, invite stakeholders from labor, from government, and from small black and brown owned businesses to see how we do get a slice of the pie. There was last year, I believe, the equity report that highlighted how about 2% of contracts went to
Less than 2% went to black-owned businesses. That is a story. There is a report done by a disparity study done by Eleanor Ramsey that pointed that out. And I would encourage all of you to go online. I believe it's online and read it and see how that disparity, how it adversely impacts blacks and other minorities from getting city business. So what would you do, if anything, to try and change that as a city council person, should you be elected? Or should I say, when you're elected?
I think it starts with an acknowledgement of the history. We can move forward in a way that's truly equitable, but we have to have the starting point of acknowledging, and there should be a city council resolution with that historic consciousness of this has not been fair to non-white races in particular.
Are you aware of such an acknowledgement ever having been made by the city of Oakland? I don't know.
I don't. I do know that Darlene Flynn, from who's authored some of these reports, is trying to get there along with other stakeholders. Former Mayor Elihu Harris, who has endorsed me.
Good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he was the best man at my wedding.
Oh my gosh.
Elihu Harris was, right.
He's a real mentor to me, and has endorsed me in this race, and has.
Well, if he's endorsed you, you must be all right.
But we talk about this, and I want to know how, for those who want to be members of a union, how we make it more equitable, how young black men and women can get an opportunity in the trades, and for those who don't want to go that route, how small businesses, how entrepreneurs that are black and brown in the city can still get a slice of the economic pie in the city of Oakland, if that's not their affiliation. And I think there's enough to go around, because the focus should always be Oakland. Our residents, our workers, our business owners.
Well, there's always enough to go around when you consider the fact that unfortunately, and it's really, really tragic that almost all of the business go to these white businesses. And that's just not fair to me as a taxpayer here in the city of Oakland. It's not fair to anybody. We want equity.
Yes, and it's even beyond PLAs. It's political favoritism. Now, when I was on the Ethics Commission, I very much studied the rules preventing contractors who do business with the city of being allowed to contribute. But there are so many loopholes that essentially allow individuals and institutions trying to do business with the city to try to influence politics. Money does buy elections in Oakland.
Money buys election, but it does not necessarily have to be. What we need are good politicians who are willing to do the right thing. We're going to have to go to break. Don't touch that remote. Just put it down. We'll be right back with All About Community. My name is Robert L. Harris. I am your host, and my guest is Janani Ramachandran, candidate for District 4, Oakland City Council.